What is up, YouTube guys? Today I am answering low elo ADC's questions from my community on Discord. I asked you guys on Discord, if you have a question on an ADC you want to see answered, ask me here and I'll do it in a video. So if you want your own question answered, or if you want coaching, you can ask through my Discord. The link is in the description below. And stick around, you might find that your own questions about the ADC role is asked by someone else. So yeah, you might learn something. Okay. Anyways, let's start with the first question. Okay. Pressure asks, how the fuck can we get rid of the nice mages bot lane? So we cannot get rid of the mages bot lane. It is not up to us. It is up to Riot Games to fix this problem of mages in the bot lane. And if you guys didn't know, mages are currently taking over the bot lane in terms of win rate and in climbing in play rate. Okay, so this mage strategy, basically what people are doing is they're picking mages that can build Lost Chapter early and completely dominate the laning phase by shoving every wave in and then poking you out, and then skirmishes happen, and then they're just more useful than you, so they just kind of win, and it's not really interactive. You can't really do anything about it. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Now, the only thing that we can do, okay, sorry, let me bring up the chat, is to adapt. What I mean by that is, of course, if you suspect an enemy, a 30 mage pickers on the enemy team, we can try and pick something to beat it. Now, the problem is that we are usually first pick as ADC. So you either need to counter them by joining them by picking a mage yourself, or accepting that you're just going to auto-lose lane potentially and pick something with CC utility, which is why Jhin and Ashe are frequently the most picked. Or Secret. Senna is still OP, by the way. I would recommend if you still want to play ADC, you should play Senna, because Senna can lose lane gracefully and help the team with utility. Or you pick a mage counter, which could be some flavor of Saber, or my favorite, AP Kai'Sa. Okay, which is the build was I made a guide yesterday. You can click on that. Okay, the 70% win rate Saber Kai'Sa guide. You should check that out. Okay, so we must play around other people playing it, and it's up to Riot to fix this stuff. Okay, next question. Hoodie Chris, he's D4. He asks, how do I keep my deaths low and my CS high? Deaths low and CS high are direct products of good decision making. Okay, you're not gonna get low deaths by just saying, I'm gonna go into game and I'm just gonna like not die this game. That's not gonna help, right? You're just gonna like AFK, or you're just gonna die anyways, because the way you play is gonna be the same every game. Your gameplay is very habits based. Anything you do in life, really, any skill is very much habits based. So what we want to do is train good decision making. For example, getting good CS or getting high CS scores involves looking at the map state when fights break out and say, do I need to get the wave first before I go join the fight? Generally speaking, as ADC, you should always get the wave first. And this is how you keep our CS score high. Every time something happens on the map, we get the wave next to us first, and then we consider joining. Right? That's low. There could be many reasons why you're dying. I would suggest you watch your deaths in your replays. Just the deaths, you just get some app like insights.gg, like here, and then this tracks when I die. Like I could just watch this death and I could be like, okay, why did I die here, right? And see if you can spot a pattern in about like 2-3 games. You will actually see a pattern. You will have number 1, number 2 reasons of why you die. A lot of times it will be due to the map, or you are dying to an enemy champion that's not on your screen, like an assassin in team fights. Whatever it is, you just want to identify that problem and work on it by building a new habit to avoid that kind of death. Okay. iCrow asks, he's over 3. He says, if I'm fed in lane, not overfed, but still, how can I impact the map correctly so the 10-0 top laner cannot absolutely destroy everyone and my LP? So if you come out of lane with a lead, but the enemy top lane is super far ahead, the most important thing that you can do is play towards what your team wants to do and play away from what that fed guy wants to do. Let's say, for example, you are mid lane and the enemy top lane has pushed his side lane and is running towards you. That means we do not want to start a fight on mid because your top laner will not be able to join, right? Instead, we should be looking at what our jungle wants to do. We want to play the other side of the map. Let's say like enemy top laner is complete Thanos. I don't know. What's like complete Thanos champion nowadays? Let's say it's like I don't know, like a Giga Fed Vayne, 10-0 Vayne. Okay, you need to watch that Vayne and see when they push their wave and is coming towards you. You do not want to fight. Make her waste time and let your top laner come back by having them push their lane. And then as long as you don't die, your top laner is getting back in the game, right? So that's what you need to do. Okay, you need to look at the map. You need to play away from the enemy top laner. We don't want to do fights when the enemy top laner can join. Scooby-Doo running sound. That's a great name, by the way. He's Plat 1. He asks, what are the most important things to assess when moving to a team fight? We did touch upon this earlier from the earlier question, but I would say there's two main things you need to take a look at for the team fight. The first is it good? Okay, so how do we know if it's good? The most common reason for a fight to be good or bad is numbers. Do we have more people or less people? The fastest way you can figure this out is you look at this map. Let's say a team fight broke out. Okay, let's just go to any of these games. Let's just click on this and we go here. And let's say a team fight breaks out on mid. Let's say a team fight breaks out on mid. Is this a good fight? Well, the answer is no, right? How can we figure this out quickly? What we do is we do quick maths. We look at our map and we look at our teammates. Don't look at the enemy teammates, okay? Because you can't see them. You can't see the enemy champions. You look at our team's champions and you say, who on our team is not here? So our mid laner is not here. Our jungle is not here. He's going to do chickens after. And our top laner is not here. That means by default, the enemy mid, the enemy jungle, and the enemy top will be here. We are at a 2v5 on this mid wave right now. So it means we do not want to fight. That's quick maths. That tells us, is this fight good or bad? Now, with that being said, the other thing you need to assess when moving to a fight is, did you get your wave or not? Because you need to make sure as an ADC that you are getting every single wave possible. This is the most consistent way to generate golden XP. And golden XP is the only way you can, buy items and get levels so that you can actually do something. So it's very important that you calculate, is this even a good fight? And if it's not, or maybe it's even, but you still need to get the wave, you need to get the wave first, right? But especially if it's a terrible fight, we do not want to go to the wave, right? Step. He is Masters. He asks, what kind of things do you need to focus on / change your approach to climb from low master to GM? Might be better worded like, what separates a master ADC from a GM ADC? Master ADC and GM ADC oftentimes is, there can actually be a lot of things that separates a master's ADC from a GM ADC. In my experience, is pretty much everything. The GM ADC is quite literally doing everything better. They're CSing better, they're paying attention to spells and lane better, they're finding their PvP trades, PvP opportunities better. They are not going to stupid fights, well, hopefully, and they are min-maxing econ better, okay? They are low-key kind of doing everything better. What you should probably take a look at if you're a master's level ADC is see what your main weakness is by watching your VODs. You can watch the whole thing, or you can just watch your deaths if you're lazy and you're kind of pressed on time or it's boring. And what you want to do is you want to see what common mistake are you making that if you fix will have the biggest impact on your gameplay. And you should work on in every game towards fixing that. And that gets you closer to becoming a GM ADC. So that's what I would say. Noah, rank, Masters 400 OP. Wow, a lot of Masters players asking in the Discord. Question, thoughts on buying defensive items as ADC? As a COG OTP, I can only get one shot by assassins so many times before I lose my mind. LeBlanc, Talon, Riven, Yi, Syndra, all of these champions kind of kill me off stream when I go meta build. Gunsu's, Runons, etc. So I'm trying to find cheap support items that help, like Bando Pipes or Locket paired with Conditioning Overgrowth. But maybe this all comes down to positioning and playing with your team. So what it looks like is you're trying to PvP without considering the PvP structure, okay? And what I mean by that is in a team fight, certain abilities and certain roles are going to go first by nature of their effectiveness. Let's say, for example, it's a 5v5. Do you, as Kog'Maw, make the first move of 10 people and walk up and auto-tech the closest guy? No, because you're going to get Malphite ultied or Kiana ultied or Zed ultied or something. Those abilities go faster, will do their thing faster than your auto-attacks will do its thing. Actually, auto-attacks go last, by the way. So what it sounds like is you're trying to find a way to just say, fuck it, I want to auto first. It's not going to work. Especially in today's League of Legends where everything one-shots you, even through defensive items. You can't auto first. You need to wait for enemy abilities to be on cooldown. You need to wait for them to be looking at someone else. ADC is a very, you have to be very patient on this rule in order to get your damage done. So if you want to play like you want to go first, then you can buy defensive items. You can buy like ninja tabbies. You can buy honestly, this is not much you can do, to be honest. Because if you buy defensive, then here's the problem. If the enemies have no abilities in your team, like thresh, like hook someone, you need to be able to kill them right off the hook. But if you have all these defensive items, you can't kill them, right? So that's why a lot of times we can't buy defensive. We must build offensive until you have enough damage to kill them when they miss their abilities, or their abilities are on cooldown. And then you can buy defensive. But defensive doesn't come until much later. But, you know, you're playing on-hit cog. I would say your best bet is going to be Ninja Tabbies, Rageblade, Runons. You go the Terminus, or what's after Runons nowadays? You can go like... It really is Terminus, isn't it? Terminus gives armor magic resist, I guess. It's like Terminus into Jack Show, right? Into more defensive stuff. But, you know, your first two items are not going to be defensive, right? Or you can just play mage. You know, you just play mage, you go first because you go first in the turn order. Okay, this guy, R... ... That's his name, by the way. His name is not hidden. It's just R ... Gold 4. Question. He's a Caitlyn OTP. At what point do you abandon a build you've started committing to? For example, you were getting ahead, but now top lane is fed and tanky / bruiserish, and lethality isn't going to cut it. Or is it a case of you hybrid it / farm and hope you can absorb more gold and win? So this question implies that you started winning lane and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go hubris this game because we are hard stomping. And then you like maybe die to a gank, or the enemy Renekton is 10-0 and you do no damage to that guy, or the Nasus jungle is 0-0, you do no damage to that guy, and you're like, wait a minute, this hubris is not doing anything. You basically need to commit to your build immediately at the start of the game. And the builds that we want to do are ones that work no matter what the game state is, right? We don't want to build stuff that only works when we're winning, because what happens is, let's say I'm going to build Hubris Collector into like Voltaic on Caitlyn, and it works if we're winning and no one can tank me. Well, here's the thing. The game state can be thrown by your teammates, or maybe the enemy team is just indexing into armor or something. If your build doesn't work when the enemy team is playing ideally, then your build just doesn't work at all. So you shouldn't have to abandon your build. You should be building something that works every single time against the enemy team, is what I would say. So yeah, if you feel like you have to abandon your build, something went wrong in your build decision making. So that's why I always recommend right now for Caitlyn, we go IE Zeal LDR. That's going to work no matter how strong or weak the enemy team is, right? All right, Giacomo Jones, he's gold 4. He asks, question, if your champion doesn't scale with critical strike damage, like Caitlyn's headshot or Sivir's Q or whatever. Wait, Sivir's Q scales with critical strike damage. Is Infinity Edge really a must buy? Back when base crit IE was 170. Okay, so this is a bunch of stuff. If I'm already ahead and out damaging my lane opponent and instead want to save my shutdown / survive dive champions, is something else better? Shield bow sucks, but maybe. What? But maybe? Oh, shield bow sucks, but maybe. Or Storm Razor as your crit capstone for better kiting. I don't know, man. So, what you're asking is, you're playing a crit ADC, and you're asking, is Infinity Edge really that important? And the answer is yes. You need to understand the reason why we buy IE. We don't buy IE because it has some special interaction with our abilities as a crit ADC. We buy IE because when you have IE with 3 crit items, it makes your auto attack a play. It makes your auto attack itself do damage, right? And with this auto attack that does damage, we can threaten the closest guy by autoing them over and over again, right? That's the whole point of Infinity Edge. So let's say you're a crit ADC and you're playing Jinx and you're like, fuck it, I'm Hex Optics, and then I went PD and I want to survive, so I went Shield Bow, and then I need more move speed, so I went Storm Razor. You have no IE, no LDR. You have all this random utility in a shield and move speed, but the whole point is to be able to do damage when they have no abilities. So let's say, for example, enemy team used every ability on your team, and you are now in a 1v5 against people who have no abilities, but you auto attack them for nothing. There is no point, right? So yes, Infinity Edge really is a must buy on crit ADCs in general. Mithy, Emerald 4, he asks, how do I know when to slow push fast push, or keep the wave neutral? And what is important to consider when you make a plan for each wave? I feel... Oh, Space Soldiers, thank you for the Prime, by the way. Thank you for the 44 months. You have, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to my stream for free. Help support your favorite streamer or YouTuber. What is important to consider when you make a plan for each wave? I find myself incredibly lost in lane this season. So he's asking about wave management. How do you know what to do with the wave? Okay, and what you do with a wave actually has a bunch of different factors. The main things you want to look at are the matchup in bot lane and the matchup in the jungle. Okay, so what I mean by that is we want to find a wave state that keeps us safe, but also helps our support the most. So you want to put the wave in a spot where our Yuumi can do the most good and prevent the enemy Swain from doing the most good for him. Okay, and we can say our wave states can look like we want to push or we don't want to push in a sense. And he mentioned slow push. Like, when do we slow push? When do we just last hit and start building waves, right? That brings us to the second part of our consideration. Okay, well, actually, we haven't finished talking about the matchup. Let's say, where's the best spot for Yuumi to poke is after we push, right? And where's the best spot for Swain to pull someone? It's in the middle of the wave, in the middle of the lane. Okay, so what does that mean? Ideally, I would love to push and make this Swain and Ashe play under their tower and have Yuumi poke, and we're gonna do that every single wave. Realistically, it's not gonna happen because they're gonna fight for us on the wave, and Yuumi is kind of weak. Unless early, we can maybe somehow use these sums to trade, but probably not. So it's probably not going to happen, which means we need to play a little bit more defensive. We need to play in a way where we don't get pulled by Swain, which means, if they're building a slow push crash, we probably just let them. We're not going to contest. If we're building a slow push crash, we want to shove the wave and let Yuumi go for a poke, right? And the second thing we mentioned is the jungle matchup. So in this jungle matchup, we have Yi versus, we have Yi versus Xin. Sorry, that was crazy. I don't know what that sound was. Definitely not my mic. Yi versus Xin. One way you can look at the junglers is, do they want to gank early / can they gank early versus do they want to just farm? So we look at Yi. Does he want to gank early? Does level 3 Yi want to gank? Hell no. He wants to perma farm and get to his level 6 as fast as possible, get to his items, and then press R and start killing people with every ult. And Xin. Does Xin want to gank early? Hell yeah. He can WE and then Q for knockup, right? So with that being said, how does this lane look like it's going to play out? We look at our jungle's pathing. Looks like our jungle is on red. He's going to do some 3 camp top or full clear towards bot. And then what does that mean for us with the 3v3? Because you don't know where Xin starts. You assume he's coming bot, right? It means we need to play safe, right? Because Xin can level 3 gank bot into base, or he can full clear towards bot. We don't know anything, which means we got to relax and play the lane safe. Sorry, I don't know why the sound keeps coming back. Which means we are probably going to be... they're probably going to push and we just catch the wave under tower over and over again until we find an opportunity to do something, which is, in fact, where your 2v2 skills come into play, where, we hit everything, we can all in them with our extra sum from Yuumi, right? Here, I should have killed this guy. I didn't flash auto Q for some reason, but it's all good. Okay. Knowing what you're supposed to do is based off of your matchup and your jungle matchup, your support matchup and your jungle matchup. You notice that I didn't mention the ADC matchup at all. It's because that is the last reason and is oftentimes not a factor in terms of how you want to manage the wave and play things out. Because let's say my ADC is stronger than their ADC early, but it doesn't matter if your support and your jungle are playing Nasus and Yuumi, for example, or Yi and Yuumi, actually, in this case, right? So, and you said, how do we make a plan for every wave? You make a plan based on your jungle, okay? So let's say, for example, here, right, coming back to lane, we take a look at our jungle. Well, he just ganked this guy, okay? So coming back to the lane, what do you want to do? He just killed Swain. Let's crash. Look at our jungle. We could even slow push here, but might as well crash and then go ward. Or I think I'm basing for my item. We look at our jungle here, and we say, our jungle, what does our jungle want to do? You make a plan out that. He wants to do Gromp. He wants to do blue. He wants to do crab. So we keep staring at him to see what we want to do. We come back to this wave, and then it turns out that there's fighting, so we want to help him. So that's exactly what we do. We go help him. The Xin unfortunately gets away, and the Yi dies, but we did our best. And then you look at the wave and you say, what does our jungle want to do? He's dead. So what does that mean for us bot lane? We got to chill. So you see, we chill until he spawns, and then he's going to go to his Krugs. He's going to do his chickens. He's going to do his blue. What does it mean for us? We got to chill. We're going to relax. And then in this way, you need to play around what your jungle is doing every 30 seconds. Every time a new wave comes in, you take a look at your jungle. What's the game plan for the team? And that would tell you everything you need to know. That would be a good basis foundation for making good decision making in lane. Gold 2, DYL asks, I am finding it difficult to find my position on the map when my mid laner won't move from mid post lane phase. Typically, I play a mobile ADCs. How do I play the side lane, or they just say fuck it and share XP? This is an interesting problem that a lot of low ADC players have, is they rotate mid and their mid laner just refuses to move. Now, there's two things you can do here. One is you say, fuck it, I'm just going to go mid, and you force this guy to leave. That's probably what I would do, to be quite honest. Okay? Because if you stay in a side lane, you're just going to get dove. If the enemy team knows what they're doing, the enemy jungle is going to fight you. You probably don't know how to not contest the wave, and the enemy mid laner is going to trade with you one time. You lose all your health bar, and then you get dove 1v1, 1v2, 1v3. So you should probably just go mid, guys. But if you do need to go side, you just need to make sure who are you laning against. If you're laning against a solo laner, you do not want to interact with them, because that means your mid laner is about to fuck the enemy ADC. So you just need to survive and not contest the minions and just catch the wave under tower. And then if they're just freezing and you can't do anything, well, you just gotta go mid, right? So I would say fuck it and share XP and just go mid. And hopefully your mid laner goes to the side lane. That's what I would do personally in gold 2. I think in gold, you guys are losing not because your mid laner is not moving, but because of way more important things, like you are not getting your waves. You know, when fighting's happening, you're not getting your waves. When fighting happens, you don't hit your abilities. Or when fighting happenings, you get hit by the enemy ult, like Blitzcrank hook, Seraphine ult, or Kiana ult or something. You get hit by something obvious, right? Those are the reasons why you'll be losing at gold, not because your mid laner is not moving. R asks, is this the same guy? He's Plat 4. He asks, oh, there's a bunch of spaces here. How do I know when to follow up on support plays and when to leave them to die? That's a good question. Let's see. Is there an example here? I'm actually not sure if I have an example off the top of my head, but let's just use let me see. Let's just use like something here. Okay. Let's say our Jarvan is top. Okay, and Poppy goes in, and the enemy jungle is here. Do we help Poppy? Or do we let him die? We let him die because we're not supposed to fight. Does it kind of make sense? Based on, you see the habit we said, every 30 seconds, we need to take a look at the wave. Sorry, this thing keeps happening. Let's say every 30 seconds, we take a look at the wave, and let's say Jarvan is not bot. Okay, maybe we should use an example where Jarvan's not bot. Okay, Jarvan's top, and Poppy starts a fight. Let's pretend both supports are bot. Poppy starts a fight. Do we want to fight? Hell no! Why? Because their jungle is here. Does that make sense? You want to play with your team. Your team needs to be on the same page. If your jungle is ganking top, and your support is going in, and you don't know where the enemy jungle is, you must assume the enemy jungle is bot, which means your support going in is an automatic loss. You do not want to keep fighting with your support if you have man disadvantage, right? So the real answer to this is you need to know before your support has even thought about going in. You need to know here. If my support goes in, I already know I don't want to fight, because Jarvan, I already know what my jungler wants to do, and that dictates what we want to do bot lane. Okay, you should already know from here. Okay. ZBK, he is Masters. He says, I peaked Challenger GM about 1 to 2 years ago, but have found I'm low-key stuck in Masters range. I even have a semi-hard stuck Emerald account. Well, that is a little unfortunate. I think part of the reason is that I'm hella gank prone. I pretty much always win lane if it's mostly a 2v2, but I find myself getting caught by jungler often because I get scrappy and play early level super aggro. Problem is, I basically have no jungle playing experience, so I only kind of go off feel for anticipating jungle ganks. Yeah, so if you die to the jungler, you basically just lose the game, right? Because the jungler is going to use that lead and run the entire map. He's going to get his lead bot, 1-2 kills. I mean, he's going to snowball it. He's going to go fight your jungle for the top side. He's going to go gank top. He's going to go gank, and everyone's dying, okay? Is kind of a disaster. So the reason why you may have peaked Challenger GM, but now you're a Masters or even Emerald, is, you're just losing the game in the laning phase or in the mid game where you don't respect the jungler. Again, if you're doing something like this and you see Jarvan top and you decide, I'm going to hit 6, I'm going to fight Caitlyn, and you die to the jungler, you're trolling. But if Jarvan didn't find this Aatrox, for example, and Aatrox could be here, hitting the dragon and says, fuck it, he's going to go fight bot, you're trolling, right? You're going to lose the game. right? Because not only did you get behind, now you can no longer play. The enemy ADC is in a better spot, which honestly it doesn't matter unless they're playing a mage, which a lot of people are playing mages, so it actually does kind of matter now. And then enemy jungle is turbo smurfing now. Okay, your job is to win lane so that you, or go even, or like mitigate enemy team winning lane, so that you can impact the jungle role. You want to help your jungle as much as possible. You want to help your mid lane as much as possible. You can't really affect top lane unless your support goes top, right? But you want to unlock your support so they can go and help jungle and mid. They go play the void grubs. They go play the roams. You need to play in a way that allows that, because you yourself are weak. You, like you said, you are challenger GM 1 to 2 years ago, but you can't carry these Masters players because your individual lead does not matter, right? Your individual lead as ADC literally doesn't matter. Type 1 right now. I swear to God, if you're watching this, I want you to type 1 in the comment section below if you've been 5-0 and you get one shot by 0-3 jungler or top laner or mid laner out of lane. Or fuck it, you've been one shot by 0 and 10 Camille, who has Bloodsong, Sundered Sky, killing you with 4 CS and 11 deaths, man. Like, what is happening? Okay, so basically you can't do shit by yourself when you're playing ADC. Okay, your individual lead does not matter compared to the rest of the game. Let's say you're massive lead and your team is 0 and 10 combined, you're gonna lose the game in 15 minutes. But if you are 0 and 10 and the enemy ADC is 10 and 0, but your team is 10 and 0, right? That enemy ADC is not going to be able to play the game. Okay, so that's what you need to take a look at, I think. Anyways, last question. Jova Emerald 1. How do you play the mid game out when you are the only lane that won lane? Very similar to you won lane, you come out of lane a little bit fed, but the enemy top is fed, right? The mid game, when everyone else is losing, is you need to try and stabilize and not fight, right? If your whole team is losing and the enemy team is, doing stuff, like the enemy team wants to invade, enemy team wants to, start the dragon or whatever, your goal is to trade sides. You want to get something while they're getting something. Let's say, for example, you're guaranteed to lose this second dragon fight. Okay, your team fights, guaranteed to lose. Do you, A, go watch them do the dragon, and then watch them smite it, and then everyone walks away? B, go contest the dragon, and we all die, thus we're losing the game faster. Or C, give them the dragon and take topside camps, topside wave, topside plates, or even tower. Okay? It's always trade sides. So you need to know that you want to trade sides. Now, oftentimes, you won't get a say because your jungle and support dictate what you guys want to do. But you can influence their decisions by back pinging bad plays and forward pinging the side of the map that you should play on. So that's how you should play the mid game out, especially since you're playing ADC. You're gonna be mid. You're gonna have control over the mid wave. Kill the wave. Play the opposite side of the map. Okay. Anyways, that's all the questions there are this week. Hopefully, you guys learned something, and I hope you guys found this at least entertaining. If you didn't learn anything, but if you do have questions, you can always ask in the Discord. Right, we'll have another weekly ADC Q&A. If this video did well, if it didn't do well, you'll probably never see this video format ever again in your life on this channel. But if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. I'll probably read them and not answer it. Haha, just kidding. I'll probably answer it. Unless you're annoying. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Oh, I need to do a shout out to my my Patreon people too. Patrons on Patreon. Sonia C, Wise Win, Austin D, and Leighton B, and everyone else at Patreon. If you guys want to support educational content on this channel, please feel free to check out my Patreon. But if not, it's okay. I appreciate every one of you guys who watches this video. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.